Hey guys, welcome back to the Deansy Boys Show podcast. I am your host, Reece Deans, and this is
Ryan Cox.
and we're back for part 2 of the Barrytown United special, and this is all about Ryan Cox, his days as a Barrytown fan, his away days, his home days, we've had a good laugh at part 1, but this is part 2, and we are continuing to go forward to the present day. So we're starting from the aftermath of the Welsh Cup run back in 2013 and going straight on to getting pulled out of the league, the Welsh FA, etc, etc. So Ryan, let's get back to it.
Hello.
Hello. Well, let's go way back. Hello. How's it going?
How's it going?
But after the Welsh Cup, we've disaster struck basically. We were then told it was on a Tuesday, wasn't it? So on a Tuesday, it was a midweek game. It was going to be Tom Pentra at home, and we were going to be playing them until the news broke out.
Okay, the story with the last we meant to play Tom Pentra. The last 2 games of that season, we were meant to play Tom Pentra home and away. So we were meant to play Tom Pentra midweek at Jenner Park, and then head to Innes Park on the Saturday to conclude the Welsh League Division 1 season. It was on the 7th of May. We were due to play Tom Pentra at Jenner Park, and it was my birthday that day. I turned 25 at that time. It was meant to be the best birthday present ever at the time. Barrytown playing in a Tuesday night game against Tom Pentra, the penultimate game of the season. What happened during that day? I think the previous owner all of a sudden withdrew the club from the Welsh League, and when I got back from work, I was told that the game with Tom Pentra is not happening because the owner, who will remain nameless, decided to withdraw the club from the league. But I turned up. I'm sure everyone else turned up, hoping it was going to be a game on, because I know quite a few people don't know what's happened during that day. But we turned up, and there was no game. And we were there. We were at the stand. We sat down and listened to everything that's gone on. Listened to what the manager had to say. Listen to what the chairman had to the chairman of the supporters committee had to say. Listen to what the secretary of the supporters committee had to say, and they decided they're going to take some action and try and find ways of getting Barry back to its rightful place, which is in the Welsh League. But afterwards, even though the match didn't happen, me and you invaded the Jenner Park pitch to play a kickabout.
Yeah, it was
as just to keep my spirits up, because it was my birthday, and I just wanted to do something, and luckily we played a nice kickabout on the Jenner Park pitch. I'd never thought that I would be on the same pitch as the likes of Andrei Shevchenko and Deco and all the greats who've played on the Jenner Park turf, and now I'm one of them. You're one of them.
Oh yeah,
and the rest are as well. So
yeah, I mean, it was fun because we started having a, and it was sort of an act of a protest as well, because
well, it was a protest. Let's be fair. It was sort of like a protest, but then obviously it was a good protest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about that.
No, no proper action, just nice little football. That's the best way to actually to go up against a man like that, man who shall not be named. Even though we have actually mentioned it in the podcast, but still, I think we had to mention his name just to.
Okay.
But the man who shall not be named. Now on this part 2, it's just to demonstrate. Look, football is not a money sport.
No.
And it's not a gambling sport. It's not anything like that. So it is football with pride and passion, and especially because it was your birthday, we had to do something to make you keep your spirits up.
Yeah.
But we did.
It's something I won't forget anyway.
Yeah.
After all the things that I've done, but that's the one moment that I won't forget. That day.
Yeah, and it was. When we were sitting there and just listening to it was scary at the time though. I know it was at the same time a sign of relief a relief because he was gone, because at the time if the only thing we had to hope for was for Stuart Lovren to leave was actually either pull out or sell up.
Yeah, because all of a sudden he had no control of the club anymore.
So that's what got us back in action. That's what got us on standby, and going for a full attack. So we then appealed for a place in the league.
We applied. Barrytown Football Club have applied for a place back into the applied for membership with the Football Association of Wales under Barrytown United AFC as a continuation, if you like, of Barrytown Football Club.
Yeah, some people say, because one of my friends argued that it was a new club, but technically it wasn't, because it was just we just added one word in.
It was the same players, the same management team, the same same everything, but the only thing that was different was the name. It was United was added to the name Barrytown. That's all it was.
Yeah, and my friend was arguing, saying, "No, it's a different club." No, it's not, because we still play at Jenner Park. We still got these players. We still got. It's not like we folded the team, kicked all the other teams out, and started right from the bottom. Where we'll get to that later on, because we then had another task on our hands, and that was to apply for a place in the Welsh League. But would you believe it? The Welsh FA said no. And if you want to go on, Ryan, tell us.
Well, I don't know much about the of what's happened at that period, but what I do remember is that Barry applied for a membership with applied for FAW membership under Barrytown United AFC, and the day that the meeting took place, it was Barrytown and Llanelli at the time, because obviously they were in a similar situation than us. So it was us and Llanelli applied for a membership with the FAW, but with just different names. And in the end, they decided that they decided that they weren't going to. They didn't accept our proposal, and all of a sudden they said that Barry and Llanelli should be relegated to playing recreational football, which I just think is a killer blow, and I just feel it's a kick in the teeth, because why would teams like Llanelli, teams like Barry, who've achieved so much in domestic football in Wales, can be all of a sudden dropped down to Parks football? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I remember telling my grandpa about this as well, and and his reaction, his voice when I was like, why? Because I remember the news broke out, and then the news came out as well that they wanted us to drop to park football, basically Sunday league.
Yeah.
Sunday league football.
Playing football in the park like any other member of society, any members of society.
Yeah, like
playing
pub teams.
Pub team, basically, yes.
Yeah, and no offense to the teams in that league.
No offense at all.
No, but you gotta have a look in our situation now. We not own a ground, but we play in a ground that's up to UEFA standards. It was the ground.
Yeah, that's UEFA standard, Welsh Premier League Welsh Premier League standards.
Yeah. And it would have been very, very. How can I? Let me use the word awkward, because it's the fact that all we have to do as Barry Town fans, we just have to walk to the. For some of you who are new listeners and don't know where these places are, but for some of you who do, like the Butts Fields, Butts Fields, or like other pub football fields, that's got no grounds at all. You just put the flags in the corner and you just stand there. It's just, and for an atmosphere for like the likes of us Barry Town fans who sing and chant, it's just going to be one of those moments where you'd be like, why are they singing? Why are they chanting?
Yeah. It would have been very awkward and very strange if we did drop down to parks football. It would have been, and I don't think we would have got out of it, if I'm being honest. If we had dropped down low in the lower leagues, I don't think we would ever get out of. That's my opinion.
And what happens is, that's what they were saying to the Welsh FA were saying to us, saying you're going to drop down to Parley Full, which was an absolute disgrace for the club, for us fans as well, and for the history as well. That's smacking in the face for all of us. And so we've appealed. We appealed for it, and
they appealed. Barry appealed.
Yeah, Barry appealed, and would you believe that
they appealed again for the second time, and all of a sudden they agreed to have the second meeting that took place in Carsus, and then there was another sort of twist. Obviously, we're trying to get back in because we haven't done anything wrong. Barry Town should have been the supporters committee should had the continuation of Barry Town, and they didn't listen to what we had a chance to listen to what we had to say. But on the day of the second meeting was absolutely the bizarre moment when all of a sudden they had a meeting not to have a meeting, and it lasted 5 minutes, I think, and then
probably less than that,
Well, probably less. It was just it was so strange at that point, and then it made the local news. It was on radio. It was on the national news. It was on national TV, BBC Wales, and then all of a sudden, it's just such an appalling decision-making process from a governing body that's big as the Football Association of Wales.
Because from coming into the moment where it led us to no option to actually say, right, we're taking you to court. We're taking legal action. And that was then it got more attention then, because I think we were, I wouldn't say the first football club or something like that, but we were the ones who to say, no, you're supposed to be a football federation, represent our country, represent our teams and clubs who represent Wales, and then you go around and say that, why? So we're taking you to court, which I wasn't there at the court. when the court case happened. Was you? Was you there?
No, I wasn't there. I was working at the time, and obviously the the day of the verdict, because I remember at the time I was sort of hoping, praying that Barry would win, because they had plenty of things to talk about. They had plenty of evidence. Um, Cut the long story short, in the end, they won the court case, and we've got we've got a place back in the Welsh League, but we had to drop down 2 divisions. So we had to play in Division 3. But obviously it would have been so easily for the players to walk away because of dropping down 2 divisions. But no, the players remained at the club, and they played teams that were difficult to play against in that league. How are we going to try and get out of it? But luckily the players did that, and we started life back in Division 3, which is not going to be an easy league to get out of. But yeah, the players have been
They done more. They done more than brilliant. We went 21 games unbeaten. If I'm right, they went 21 games unbeaten, and we kept winning like we always did back in the 90s. I mean, no offense to the other teams back in Division 3 at the time, but we were winning 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. You know, we were winning that many games, and we won the title. Then we went to Division 2, which I thought myself it was going to be the hard one, but that was as easy as, no offense, like I said, to the Division 2 teams, but you know, it was a very good season, 2 seasons, just winning in first place all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously winning the Division 3 title back in 2013-2014 season, it was such an emotional time, an emotional season for the club, because you know all the things that the club has been through. It's about time that this club has got some positivity back. Obviously, it had an odd 1 or 2 defeats during that season, but we managed to win the league. And obviously, at the time, Llanwern were on our tails at that point. I remember we went to the last game of the season against Newport Civil Service, and a win for us, a win or a draw, and we would win the league. If we'd lost that, Llanwern would have won the league. So I remember the Llanwern players turned up that night, and they were behind the stand, and we were in the side stand, and just hoping that these Barry players can do it. And when the first goal went in, everyone in the Barry in the stand, the Barry stand was
We all went bonkers,
we
didn't
went bonkers that day.
Yeah.
Jordan Cottrell scored, and then Jordan Cottrell turned around and he looked at the Llanwern players, and he walked away. And then he turned around and he celebrated with the players.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were there, weren't they? The Llanwern players.
Yeah.
The cheek of them.
Yeah, they were. And obviously we were 1-0 up at half time. Obviously they didn't have floodlights at that time because it was a 6:30 kick-off. So, and there was no clubhouse, so they did the talking. The half-time team talk was on the pitch. So the second half, all we had to do was find a second goal to kill the game off and kill off Llanwern's chances of winning the league. So and in the end, Dale Howarth broke through and he scored, and the stand went mad again. It was full of joy, full of jumping up and down, punching the air, banging against the stand, creating noise, and the final whistle went, and everyone was chanting "Championes, Championes, ole, ole, ole," and
then Llanwern went home.
and they went home afterwards. So, but fair play. They went to the manager. Said many congratulations on winning. The best team won the league, so you have to give them credit, I suppose. And
I think Llanwern were, apart from Barry, I think they were the better team by far.
Oh yeah,
because they actually did dominate the league.
Because obviously they went up as well. 3 teams went up that season. It was
I can't remember the third one.
It was us, Llanwern, and Risca United.
Oh yeah,
that season. So 3 of us went to Division 2.
The second, when we got into Division 2, we had a very good unbeaten run, and then, but it came down to, it was one of the games, I can't remember, I think, Ryan, you know better than me, but similar to, I think, Barry and Llanwern, where it all came down to the last game. This one didn't, but it was at the moment where one team had to lose, and we had to win.
Oh yes, I remember. I know what you're talking about. We played Penrith Khyber Rangers at Jenner Park, and the same day, Caldicott Town took on Aberbargoed Buds, and Caldicott Town were on our tails, and so were the Buds. But if we'd won and Caldicott lost their game, we would win the league. We would win the promotion. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was promotion, because before then the title, it was all about promotion.
Yeah. Okay. So we won 5-2 against Penrith Khyber Rangers, and then the final whistle went, and then we stayed at the back of the stands waiting for information to come through with the other result, with Caldicott and Aberbargoed Aberbargoed Buds.
We were waiting for a while, weren't we? Because they didn't have Twitter. Well, they had Twitter, but they weren't much.
They had Twitter, but it wasn't up to date.
Yeah,
at that point.
And I remember one. I think it was Ashley was there as well, because I think some of us were on our phones trying to call the clubhouse. I think it was that. I was like trying to call the football club to say what's the score. It was like our own Jeff Still in our Sky Sports News, because we were like, what's the score? Call him.
Yeah.
And then until I think it was Edred Thomas, the supporters committee's chairman's son. He came out of the locker room, and all you heard, even though it was quiet, all you heard is this big, yeah! It was that big shouting of cheer, wasn't it? Remember that?
Yeah, and that presumed that we won the league, and then we had to check again, and then it happened. Caldicott lost 1-0 to Aberbargoed Buds, and we won the league, and
invading the locker room.
Well, you invaded the locker room.
Well,
forget what happened.
Okay, let's not go down that road.
No, it was.
I remember it was me. I'm not going to spare into details, because I'm not going to break the news or what actually happened in the locker room. But it was me, Pete Morton, Jason Paulin, and I think Nick Latham joined in as well. And we just burst in there, and all went chaotic. Then we just all went bonkers.
Yeah, absolutely, and another fantastic season for the players that season, and the hard work. Obviously, the odd defeat or two at that season, but the players showed tremendous character to go on and win the league back to back, which is incredible achievement.
Right, and we're here now,
Yes.
Division 1.
Yes, back to where we belong.
Yeah, and you know what? I think to this day how far we've come, and I'm actually getting so excited. I got butterflies in my stomach because, guys, this is all recorded. This is all pre-recorded, but the next day is Barry Town United versus Cardiff Metropolitan University. We're in the same position as the previous 2 seasons. We're in first place, only just about, and we're up against a team that got 3 games in hand. But we're only points away. But we got to beat them to secure that.
Well, to increase the points advantage
And the positive chance of that dreamland, our old home, Welsh Premier League.
Yes. Well, obviously, the back in Division 1 of the Welsh League, it's quite extraordinary to think that having to drop down 2 divisions and then winning Division 3 and then winning Division 2 and now back to Division 1 and another fantastic season so far. This it's not over yet. We still got some games to play between now and April the 23rd, which is the day of the last game at Jenner Park. But the start of the campaign against Cardiff Met. Now I have to say, Cardiff Met last season were extremely unlucky because Kyra Ely won the league that season, but it was down to Cardiff Met or Haverfordwest would play in the Welsh Premier this season so far currently.
Before you go on to saying about Cardiff Met and Haverfordwest gaining promotion, tell the audience why Kyra could not have access to the Welsh Premier League.
Well, basically, their facilities, the ground is not Welsh Premier League standard, basically. Obviously, I'm not being horrible or anything like that.
Oh, no.
But it's just the ground, the facilities are not Welsh Premier League standard. That's all I gotta say on that one.
You want to go back to Haverfordwest and Cardiff Met? So yeah, that's because but for some people it's going to be like, well, how come they didn't go up? Because even though they finished first place, so it's just more like a news. But yeah, carry on with Cardiff Met and Haverfordwest.
Well, basically, Cardiff Met or Haverfordwest would go in the Welsh Premier this season and currently, but obviously Cardiff Met have finished their season, so it was down to Haverfordwest County to try and win their last game against Aberdare Town at Aberramon Park. If they win 5-0 away from home at Aberdare, then they will go into the Welsh Premier instead of Cardiff Met on goal difference. And it happened, and all of a sudden Haverfordwest gone out there and done the job. They've scored 5 goals and won 5-0 at Aberdare Town and denied Cardiff Met, who applied for a domestic licence to play in the Welsh Premier. They denied Cardiff Met promotion to the Welsh Premier League, and on goal difference, which is the biggest kick in the teeth, because you've worked so hard in that all season and you just miss out on promotion by goal difference, which is absolutely devastating for them.
I know. I think we were all surprised for them because we were actually supporting Cardiff Met more than Haverfordwest, because I know Haverfordwest had been Welsh Premier League, got the experience before, but I think because Cardiff Met were underdogs, and they used to be called Inter Cardiff at one point. The news that follow on, guys, is that Inter Cardiff is now Cardiff Metropolitan University. I mean, that's the story that follows. Whether it follows in that line, we don't know, because it is a big mystery to how it all came around then.
I won't go into that, but I would say that obviously at the start of the season, our first game of back in Division 1 was Cardiff Met away, and we turned up. We laid out our flags out. Everything was ready. And
Ultimate Warrior symbol, yellow and blue.
Yes, I drawn and painted the ultimate famous symbol of the Ultimate Warrior. God bless his soul. Yeah. But I painted it yellow and blue as the colours of Barry Town, of course. And it was a very tight game. It was a very close game. There was chances for both sides. It was heading for a goalless draw, which I thought at the time it was a good start for us, because obviously the first 12, 13 of games, 12, 11, 12, 13 games away from home, because Jenner Park was under 3G construction of a 3G pitch. So I thought a 0-0 draw away from home, a point away from home, would be a fantastic start for us against a team like Cardiff Met. But that one moment when they broke through and they scored in injury time, it was just devastation from the Barry players. A couple of them were down on the floor, down onto the artificial pitch. The manager had his head down. The supporters turned away, had their heads down, hands on their head, couldn't believe it. And then the Cardiff Met were celebrating because they scored, and then they've gone on to win the game. But it did not dampen the spirit of the players, because obviously after that we bounced back with a victory at Risky United, a victory over Penabont, and
Penabont. I mean, prices as well. And
we should have beaten Goitra, because we absolutely blew them away in their own patch, but we could only manage a draw. But we've done well to fight back after that devastation from the first game.
Well, that's today, the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered much of, like, basically most of the Barry Town's entire season run to this day, but through your perspective. But this is the question I want to come up to now. In the introduction, I said the voice of Jenner Park.
Yes.
So the reason why I see it.
Can I make about the Cardiff Met game?
Yeah, of course. Go on.
Tomorrow, massive game for Barry and Cardiff Met, because the destination of where the Welsh League Division 1 title is going will be decided between these two clubs. Barry, top of the league, 1 point ahead, but have played 3 games more than Cardiff Met. Cardiff Met, they are a point behind, but they've still got plenty of games to play. They're 3 games in hand over us. I think the last game Cardiff Met played was a fortnight ago, and against Avonlido, lost 2-1. In the end, they were reduced to 9 men.
9 men?
Yeah. 2 of their players got sent off. So it's an opportunity. I think 2 of those players have been their key players. I'm not too sure, but it could prove could be important for tomorrow. But you just never know which Cardiff Met side are going to turn up tomorrow. But I'm hoping, a win for us would take a 4-point lead, but we still played the same amount of games more than Cardiff Met. But then they've got a tough run to come as well. So we're just hoping that they're gonna have a bad run, and we hope after the game of Cardiff Met we go to Garden Village, a team who have only picked up 2 points all season. And
That's on a Friday,
and
isn't
on a
it?
Friday night.
I'll be there.
If we win that, then if we win those 2 games, then we'll see how Cardiff Met react.
Yeah, and I think that's the more positive chance for us to win the league and probably get to the Welsh Premier League at the same time.
Yeah.
Now,
Sorry, go back to
Yeah.
the introduction of Atanoi.
yeah, the Tannoy. So I want to know about this because I know you had to with the club restarting all over again, and your brother Ashley, my good friend as well, he did the voice the Tannoy, and but when he left for Manchester to go and work somewhere and go and do other things, right? You became the voice of Jenna Path and you did the Tannoy stuff. But how did you get to do well? Basically, how did you become the Tannoy man? How did you become the voice of Jenna Park?
Well, I'll tell you a story about that. I have to say the current secretary, David Cole, he was the first person to do the Tannoy when Barry were dominating the Welsh Premier League in the 90s. And you watch on YouTube, and his voice, it was David Cole. And then afterwards, it was Ashley, my brother, who did it for a bit. But I'll tell you about the story. It started back in the 2012-2013 season. That was the season when Barry got to the semi-final of the Welsh Cup. Prior to that, it was September of 2012. My brother came up to me one day, and he said to me that he was going away. He's not going to be at the game, the upcoming Barry Town game at Jenner Park, because he was going away with his girlfriend at the time, a weekend away together. He approached me one day and he said, I'm not going to be at the game on Saturday. I was wondering if you could do me a favour. I said, yeah, of course. What is it? What do you want me to... What is the favour? And he said, I'm going away. I'm not going to be at the game. This was Barry Town against Bryn Teryn Athletic, of course. Bryn Teryn Athletic went on to merge with Bridgend Town to become Pen y Bont. Okay, later on. And I wonder if you could do the Tannoy for me. And I said, I'm not too sure. You have to tell me what to do. He said, no problem. All I want you to do, real simple. I give you the music, and you just put the tape in the tape cassette player or the CD on the CD player, and you just play the music. That's all you got to do. I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So it was on the day of the match when we played Bryn Teryn Athletic. I knew who the Barry Town players were, but I didn't have a team sheet because I didn't know. Sorry, rewind. I did have a team sheet with both teams, but it was written down on a sheet of paper. So I had a sheet of paper with all the team names on, and so the first goal went in, and he announced the goal scorer for Barry. The goals Barry scored that day, I just announced those players to Barry. I didn't really say about the opposition. So Barry won the game in the end, 3-1. And a few people came up to me and said, "Oh, well done, you've done a good job. And are you going to do it again next week?" So I wasn't planning, but yeah, I'm sure I'll give it a go again. So a week later, we were back at Jenner Park against Goitre United. This was I think it was in the same month of September 2012. And I had a team sheet, and the first goal. I'll tell you a story about this. One of the Barry Town players, TJ Nagy, and obviously you know TJ Nagy, fantastic footballer.
Oh yeah.
But the program notes said his real first name, which is Anthony Nagy, right? And Anthony TJ Nagy, and I wasn't sure what to say when he scored, because I'll tell you, we won 7-2 that game against Goitre United. 2 hat-tricks, a hat-trick from Christian Deutsch and a hat-trick from TJ Nagy. I think it was the first time the 2 players scored a hat-trick in the same game since we beat Aberystwyth 8-1 back in 97 or 98. And I think Chris Pike and Tony Bird scored a hat-trick that day.
And for those who don't know, actually, it's a brief fact here. Sorry to cut you there, but the brief fact about Chris Pike is, for some of you who don't know, I mean, he's a former Cardiff City and Barry Town player, but also he is the uncle to Real Madrid star, Wales international footballer Gareth Bale, and we're very proud to say that Gareth Bale's uncle played for Barry Town. You know, and
true fact. Yeah, true fact.
So yeah, carry on about the Tannoy and the.
Okay. Barry scored first, TJ Nagy scored. Now, at the time, I wasn't too sure whether he wanted to be called TJ Nagy or Anthony TJ Nagy, or TJ Anthony Nagy, or whatever. So, I grabbed the microphone, I raised it up against my mouth, I opened my mouth, and I said, the opening goal for Barry Town, scored by number 9... And then, what do I say? And then I say, Anthony TJ Nagy. And the crowd behind the stands was cheering and laughing at the same time.
I think I remember that. I think that was laughing. Yeah.
Right. But then he went on to score 3 more. So he scored 4, and Doigi scored 3. So we won 7-2. After the game, I think we went down to the Tinnerwith, I think, and Dave Cole came up to me and he said, I just want to say you did a brilliant job out there, but can I just make one criticism? And I said, well, what is it? And he says, when you're announcing TJ Nagy, can you please say TJ Nagy on the tannoy instead of Anthony TJ Nagy? I know that Anthony is his first name, his real first name, but in future, can you just say TJ Nagy, because that is what he'd like to be called? And I said, okay, that's no problem at all. So then we were back at home a week later against Tata Steel, and it was a close game. It was 0-0. Second half, TJ Nagy scored from tightest corner, tightest angle, which proved to be the winner. And then obviously TJ Nagy scored, so I raised the microphone and I said, this time, the goal for Barry Town, scored by number 9, TJ Nagy.
Hey!
and then they shout, yay, like you said. And then I felt a lot better afterwards. So I hope I've done well to convince Dave that I said TJ Nagy this time. So
you became.
And then all of a sudden, after that, I just started to do it regularly.
So just by having your brother say, "Oh yeah, I'm going away for the weekend. Can you take over for this one game?" So that this one game became the whole season, just turned into the whole season, and then the next season you just did it all. Then did you?
Well, it got stuck, and then the likes of Colin Churchill, Keith, Terry the Bugle came up to me, Scott, Reg, all these supporters came up to me, congratulating me, saying, "Well done, well done. You've done a good job out there. Well done. Hoping there's many more to come from you." Yeah, and then we just got stuck with it, and obviously there's been plenty of games that I've enjoyed doing the announcing. Obviously, the the Welsh Cup ties this season against Aberdare Town and Denbigh Town. Obviously, TNS was the big moment for me. Obviously, before then, the year before, I tannoyed the Welsh Youth Cup semi-final at Jenner Park, Cardiff City against Newport County. I remember there was 650 odd people were there that night, half Cardiff, half Newport fans, and it was a fantastic experience for me. And everyone's saying Jason was there, and he said, "Brilliant job, mate. Well done." And then I continue to do it on match days when Barry are at home, and it's been fantastic. But the one thing that I would say that I miss when I do the Tano is joining you lot beyond the stand under the gantry, trying to cheer our team on, encouraging our players to play better. But every time a first goal is scored, either Barry or an opposition, then I will head straight down to join you lot and help cheer our team on.
Yeah, because you mainly do that, because sometimes I know it is very frustrating for you, like, because you're mainly more of a supporter and you got to run back and forth to the timeout. I have actually seen you do that. But say I hope you don't leave the Tano, because I think you're doing an absolute brilliant job.
Thank you.
And you're doing a brilliant job in this. I'm actually proud, because we're doing two parts of it. So this is the once in a lifetime opportunity. But if you were to step down as the man behind the voices of Jenner Park, the introduction to the players, who would you have liked to see being your successor?
Well, that's what I don't think anybody would want to do it. I think obviously I saw a picture the other day of on social media, and the Townway announcer has been is vacant, and the new person has taken over, and it was a picture of Roger Newbury grabbed the microphone. And to be honest, I don't know who would take over. If I'm being honest, I don't think anybody would do the same thing, would do what I do. If I'm being honest about it.
If you were to pick one, or say your top three, I know, like you said, that you do not know who, because people would rather watch the football than do the tannoy. But if you had your top three, to say, look, these are who I want to be my successors, who would those three be?
I think you would be a good possible choice. Would you agree on that? Because you talk a lot and
way too bloody much. I'm happy with the podcast, but I know actually that's coming from you. I mean, guys, I actually not told him to say that. He's actually said it from his own perspective. But it would be really good, because I remember when I went down to Cardiff City. I remember Ali Yassin, who did the voice, to introduce the players, and he did a fantastic job. And I was like, if I ever do the Tano, I do what Ali Yassin does. Gets the crowd going and all that. I mean. Thanks for mentioning me. I'm flattered by that.
I would love to see Jason do it one day, but I don't think he would have.
He's too passionate with
He's too passionate with taking photos of the game, getting the crowd going, getting the players going. He's very passionate, and I've never seen so many passionate fans in my life. They care so much for their club. It's absolutely unbelievable. Scott, I have to say, is very passionate. Very much like Jason. He's very passionate. He just wants what's best for the Barry Town, for the players. Colin Churchill, passionate. Sheila, his wife, passionate. Everyone, every single supporter is passionate about Barry Town Football Club. It's been in their blood. It's been in their life. It's been in everything, and it's extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
So it's like me, Jason. I mean, I think anyone could be the main favourite. So you're saying like,
Oh, and of course, my brother Ashley. I can't leave him out.
Oh, you can't
He's
leave-
passionate as well. So.
oh no, I think actually, I'm okay. I gotta tell you this story, right? Because it does involve your brother. It was me and your brother. We were what was it? I think we were cleaning up the Jenner Park.
Okay.
Where we were.
Was it Community Action Day? Was it?
Community Action Day, yeah. So,
Okay.
so me and Ashley and Colin
Mhm.
Churchill were painting the fence,
Okay.
and all of a sudden, me and Ashley, as we were painting them green,
Yeah.
the man who should not be named,
Oh, that moment. Okay.
yeah, he came out, and all of a sudden,
Let's just say that Ashley had a bit of a moment, but we won't go into that if that's all right with you.
no, that's fine. But at that day, I soon realised I knew I found my respect for Ashley.
Yes.
Because when what he didn't do anything bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you probably phone me later on saying, "Reece, what have you done?" And I'd be like, "No, it wasn't anything bad." But I knew that day his love and passion for the club was truly full of very inspiring. So that's when even though I respected him when the first time I met the guy, but that was then I was like, you know what, he's a proper diehard fan. You can't argue with it.
Can't fault that.
I mean, me and Ashley always had not arguments, but banter with who's better, who would win in the match, Crush or Crush, you know.
Doink the clown.
Doink the clown, you know.
Yeah.
But that was that moment. But doing the tannoy, I mean, can it be stressful?
It can be stressful. I mean, I always turn up at Jenner Park and then having to relax for a few minutes in the clubhouse prior to kick-off, and then having to walk all the way to the tannoy to put the music on and just play, and just walk back to collect the team sheet, and then back again, and then announce the starting 11 for both teams, and then having to remember the goals, the minute the goal was scored, the golden goal that they do now. Whoever matches the number from the ticket would win some money. Having to saying the halftime score, the next game for Barrytown, home or away, the final score. At times, sometimes I say the attendance, but only if there is a big crowd, it's not so many people turning up, but I'll say the attendance if there's more people there than less. But I only relax when Barry are away from home, so I don't have to worry about having to do anything. It's just that it's their turn now, and I can now relax and cheer my team on.
I was going to say, I was going to ask these questions as well. I mean, I've got them all written down, but I think we've covered some of that during the storytelling in part 1 and currently part 2. But I know we've discussed funny moments and favourite moments, but actually I want you to describe your personal favourites, both of which one's your favourite Barrytown moment, and also what is your funny moment at Barrytown Football Club, or Barrytown United Football Club?
Well, I have to say, I started watching Barry 1998, but I think the the best goal I've seen by Barry, it was back in the 1998. It was August of 1998. We played Wrexham at Jenner Park in the Premier Cup group game, and Ian Rush, Wrexham legend, was on the bench that night, and he was coming up towards the end of his playing career, and we won 3-2 that game against Wrexham. There was an own goal. Richard Jones scored for Barry, and then, in my opinion, the best goal I've seen. There's a player called Darren Davis. Now, Darren Davis, the ball fell to his knee. He was just behind the penalty area, so in front of the penalty area, I should say. He took it down with his knee. He kicked the ball with his foot, just a bit high, and then boom, struck the ball sweetly over the defenders, over the goalkeeper, straight on line into the back of the net. That's the best goal I've seen. And then the players raised his foot up in the goal celebration. He raised his foot up, and the crowd went easy, easy, easy. And it was on the BBC. It was a live game. That would be my favourite goal that I've seen Barry Town. And obviously there's been plenty more. There's been a lot of really good Barry Town goals over the years, but that's the only time that I remember the best goal that I remember once supporting Barry was Darren Davis against Wrexham.
Funny moment? Or have we covered that already?
I think we covered the funny moments. I think the funny moments, obviously the Flint moment, Ian Rush, Flint was funny,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's anything else added to that.
Yeah. Well, I think now, because with the season, the position we're in now in the season, it's coming to the point now where there's a possible chance we could go to the Welsh Premier League once again. Now, having seen that, I've got this question written down here. Do you think Welsh Premier League is the future? I think we've covered that.
I have no doubts that Barry will be back in the Welsh Premier, but it's going to take time.
All in good time.
It'll take time, but whether they are going to do it this season, it remains to be seen. But I have no doubt in my mind that they will be back in the big time with the big boys, and
it's like saying in the WWE, this is the big time.
Yeah, where the big boys play.
Yeah.
But it would be fantastic to see Barry back in the Welsh Premier and be on Scorio every week, But it's going to take time. But I would love to see us play Port Talbot. I think obviously the relationship between Barry and Port Talbot is fantastic. It's strong. They're the best fans in the Welsh Premier by far.
And we've had a football match against them.
Yes, and
I was up front and you were in defence.
Yeah, it was your idea to have this fans football match with Port Talbot, and we had our first AGM, a first meeting down at the castle, and
the castle suppose it's not really a big castle.
No.
There was a pub called the Castle in Barry which we had a meeting, and that's when we got some of the fans. And one of the fans who was only new was Rob Royals. Shout out to you, Rob Royals. You're a good mate of mine, and I'll see you very soon. But we had a meeting.
Yes.
And you were my second in command, weren't you? Because when I talked to you about it, because there was a lot of doubts, wasn't there? Because it was going to take. I mean, it was all positivity, like it was all positive, like to have the match. But there was some doubt because it was arranging it as well, wasn't it? Because it had to do with money and the facility.
That was the most stressful part, was trying to organize it all, trying to arrange it. Originally, we were meant to have it in Cardiff, but then all of a sudden they said they wanted to be in Swansea. Now, obviously, traveling to Barry, going from Barry to Swansea and is quite a trip. But we wanted this match to happen. So, obviously, between the training down at the Buttrill Fields, I've been trying to make some arrangements with a few people. I had a suggestion that we should have it played down in Bridgend, because they've got a 3G pitch and it's slap bang in the middle between Barry and Port Talbot. I thought it would be ideal location to have our fans football friendly. So I made a phone call to one of the people at Bridgend, the man who's in charge of looking after the 3G pitch, and I said, I'm trying to organise a fans football match. Would it be possible to hire your 3G pitch for the day that I've chosen? And he said, yeah, no problem at all. What is it? What are the teams? How many players are going to be involved, and everything else. So the date, the location was set. Thank you very much for your help. You've been fantastic. And he said he's going to send me email of the information and the footwear that's appropriate for the 3G pitch.
It was all Astro boots or plastic studs.
Yeah, molded boots. Let's just say that. And anyway, I rang Craig Mapstone.
Good old Craig.
Who is a mad, passionate Port Talbot fan, and a Port Talbot ultra, I should say. And
he belongs with the Wire family as well.
He does look like Bray Wyatt, let's be fair. But I love the guy. Anyway, I rang him. I said to him, how would you feel, your Port Talbot lads, how would you feel if you would have to have our fans football game to be played at Bridgend FC on the 3G pitch? It's between Port Talbot and Barry. It's an ideal location. What do you think about it? And he said, oh, I never really thought of that. And then, oh, that's a fantastic idea. That's a great idea. So he said to me, well, I said, I told him how the cost of using the 3G pitch for an hour, etc., etc. Brilliant, no problem at all. I'm in. We're all in. So brilliant. So then I remember the same day when I rang Craig Mapstone, I walked from my house to the Buttrill's Fields. And then I know that you were there doing the training. It was starting the training program. Gathered everyone in a circle, and I said, "Good news. We're going to have our fans football match to be played in Bridgend on this day, at this time." And then also, I've good news. Also, another piece of good news is that I've asked the Barrytown kit man, Matthew Case, to borrow his like training gear, the kit, and obviously some of the people requested yellow and blue, which is very understandable. So he said, no problem at all, I'll take care of everything. I'll lay the training kit out, the shirts, the shorts, the socks, the towels, everything.
And he didn't have to do that though, didn't he?
He didn't have to do that, but he was good as gold. He was just wanted to make it, just wanted to make our day fantastic, and he sure did a fantastic job that day, and an absolutely unbelievable experience.
On that day we've had a good game.
Yes,
We've had a good game.
It was a very enjoyable game.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
We drew 2-2.
Yes.
Very neck and neck. But that didn't, because I remember that whoever was the winner would be playing in our home ground. But because no one won this year, now we're going to try and arrange another match with them at Bridgeend's ground again. And hopefully it's the same price and the same style. But this time, I'll get the whole thing sorted and get some more fans. I think, well, no offense to anyone, I think it was a big disappointment that no fans were there to come and watch it. But then again, it was still a good day. It wasn't ruined.
No. We went behind twice that game, and obviously I think David Barnes scored the first equaliser.
I can't really remember. I was too caught up in the moment.
Okay.
So
anyway, we went behind again, and then we had a penalty.
Now it was a controversial penalty though, wasn't it? Because we didn't have a proper referee.
No, we didn't. Jason had to take over the referee duties, but
I think this year I got a friend who's part of the referees. I know a few friends who are referees, so they're willing to join in. But I know Lewis Jones, but he was playing for us at the time. He does the refereeing, but I think he's going to play for us again this year. So, get some people to come in and help us out. But we drew 2-2. Nick Latham scored the winning penalty.
Yes, and I was a bit worried, if I'm being honest. Is he going to slot it into the back of the net? So I turned away, and I went down on my knees. I was hoping that he was going to score. But
there was arguments between me and Nick as well.
Yeah.
There was an argument who was going to take the penalty, but then I couldn't argue with him. I was like, go on in. He slotted the ball in the right, and the goalkeeper went the right way. I think the goalie, Anthony Tippett, was in goal for Port Talbot. He was a good goalkeeper, by the way.
Very good.
He stopped I thought it was my attempt, because there was a last minute, and because I was up front, he stopped my shot, which I thought was
in the end, the ball just managed to beat him, so we all square again, 2-2, and it stayed that way. And there was a big discussion of whether to have a penalty shootout, but then we realised no, we have to.
We all thought,
we all thought about it, but we had to share it. I think it's fair. But then Jason brought a fantastic trophy. It was a replica of the Football World Cup trophy, and it was called the Supporters World Cup, and we shared it, and it was a fantastic match, fantastic day, fantastic occasion, great game of football. Sun was shining, very enjoyable, best moment.
Quick discussion now for the conclusion of the show. Because I've seen your tweet, you wanted to discuss about the disability side. For a short discussion, talk about the disability side.
Yes, well, basically, I'm part of the Barrytown United Pan Disability football team. I joined a couple of years ago. Back then they were the Vale Reds, and obviously, as Barrytown Pan Disability, they've done really well so far this year. So far this season, obviously they've had some successes in Skewen and Pontypridd the last couple of weeks. Last year, we won the Welsh Super Cup down in the Llanrumney area of Cardiff. It was a fantastic day, fantastic experience for me, because I haven't been involved in football activity for a long time, but fantastic experience. And we've got a game coming up at Jenner Park for the first time for these youngsters, which will take place on Saturday the 2nd of April. It'll be at Jenner Park. It'll be against the RCT Tigers. Kickoff will be at 11 o'clock. So, please, if you can come down and show your support for our disability team, we'd be much appreciated.
That's going to be brilliant, and I'll be there. I'll be there with my voice and my.
And I will be playing as well. So
yeah, of course you'll be playing.
Yeah, I'll be the.
Otherwise, I won't turn up.
Absolutely, yeah. But,
well,
yeah, please come on down and show your support for our disability players who've been outstanding. Every time I turn up to see them, every time I train with them, it's a joy for me because they are so very skillful, full of energy, full of everything.
And the fans trained with the disability side, didn't they?
In our lead up to the fans football match, we had a couple of friendly games with the disability team. Obviously, half of us had some of the disability players playing for us, just as a warm up, and obviously Lewis Overton. We had to borrow him for the fans football match last year, and I have to say he was terrific. He was very good. He was very good, and hoping to have him this year. Hoping to have the fans football at Jenner Park. Hoping, and then hopefully play the following year in Port Albert. Hoping that's going to happen, but hope it remains to be seen.
Yeah. Well. 2 parts. How do you feel?
I feel knackered. I feel nearly losing my voice talking, but it's worth it.
Majority of the time, but...
Oh, can I say you can follow the Barrytown Disability Team on Twitter, going at Barrytown United DFC. United, which is spelled UTD instead of UNITED. So basically you type in Barrytown UTD DFC. DFC stands for Disability Football Club.
What about you?
You can also follow me on Twitter at RJ Coxey. That's at RJ Coxey, and please follow me.
But we actually covered 2 parts. I mean, especially the football side of things, your side of the matters, even half of my side of the matters. I don't think we need an episode of me talking about what's going on, but Ryan,
Reese,
thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for allowing me to be part of your show, and as I say, keep up the good work. You're doing an excellent job.
Thank you very much. Well, you're no stranger to me. You can come on my show as many how many times you want to come on it. One day if you really want to come on it, or if you want to, if I ask you to come on, yes, no, come on it. We can discuss about anything.
Can I also, sorry to butt in.
No, don't worry.
Can I also say the Barrytown Pan Disability Team have got a Facebook page as well. So you type in Barrytown United Pan Disability, and then there's, the fixtures, the upcoming fixtures will be on there, and that's what.
Everything. Basically. So basically, just go on the Barrytown United Pan Disability side. They got the fixtures, results, the news, what's coming next, and it's all on Facebook, all on Twitter. You could just follow them, and you can follow Ryan Cox, RJ Coxey, and also that's all we got time for. Ryan, again, thank you very much for coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure, thank you.
And this is the Deansy Boy Show, and what you can do for me, guys, is that if you do follow me, subscribe, and also leave a comment for feedback or for any positive comments. Please keep it clean, and also just follow me on Twitter at Deansy Boy, but between the Deansy and the boy there's an underscore, so Deansy_boy. That's on me on Twitter. Follow me at Deansy Boy, and guys, this is the Deansy Boy Show, the special edition of the Barrytown United Special Series. I am your host, Reece Deans, and this is
Ryan Cox.
And good night.